Hello there. I'm Andrea Nordling, founder of the Profitable Nutritionist, where we help health coaches and holistic nutritionists make way more money, serve more people without relying on social media. So if you are into that and haven't already, please go to theprofitablenutritionist.com. theprofitablenutritionist.com, click around and get some of our free resources. We would love to help you. Question is, when do you move from one-on-one to group coaching? Can you do a group coaching offer if you haven't worked with that many clients yet? All right, two answers to this. There's always two answers. There's always more than one because really there's no one way to do it. So I'm going to tell you the hard way. I'm going to tell you the easy way. It'll be no shock to you if you've been around here any length of time that I did this the hard way. So first of all, of course you can. You can start a group without ever working with any one-on-one clients. That is the rule-breaking way, okay? Rules are meant to be broken. I did this. This is what I did. I went straight to group because I didn't know that I could make the kind of money that I wanted to with one-on-ones. So I did work with some one-on-ones in the beginning, and I was also trying to do groups, and I was launching online courses and a membership, and I did all of the things at once for the first few years of my business because I didn't know that there was a better way. I truly didn't have any one path and one process that I was following. I was trying to piece together all kinds of different strategies, which made this way, way harder than it needed to be. I didn't know that I could make the kind of money that I wanted to make with one-on-ones. Now I know coaches who make over $1 million a year just with one-on-ones. So it's absolutely possible. I did not know that that was possible. I'll just be totally honest. I didn't know what I didn't know. So I made the decision to go straight into group or almost straight into group. I only worked with a few one-on-ones because that's what I thought I had to do to make the kind of money that I wanted to make. That's the hard way, for sure, the hard way. But you can do it. I'm a good example. You can do it. And what I teach in my programs will help you do that. But what I would suggest doing, I think is much easier for two reasons, and I'll explain it, is to start with one-on-ones and then transition to group. Reason for that is you're going to have your process and your messaging so much more dialed in if you start with one-on-ones. It's a different skill set to sell someone one-on-one than it is to sell a group. I think it might be a fact that it's easier to sell one-on-one. I don't want to plant the seed that it's hard to sell a group or sell one-to-many, but it is for sure it's a different skill set. And I do think it's easier to sell in one-on-one conversation. So in the beginning, I would highly suggest that you are doing it that way. And then for the same reason, you are delivering your process one-on-one because then you are so much more agile. You are able to tweak and you are able to change and you are able to get the feedback from the person, whether it's in the sales, that one-on-one sales conversation that you're having, or in the one-on-one delivery of your process to your clients. You're able to move. Like you're flexible. You can see, oh, okay, that wasn't landing the way I thought it was going to. I'm going to change that for next time. Or this is taking longer than I thought it was going to take in the process for them to understand this. I need to stretch it out further than I thought it was going to. Or on a consult call or discovery call with someone, you can see you can hear rather what their exact objections are and where they're getting stuck and where you think they understand something and really they have no idea what it is. So in real time, you're getting your messaging so much more dialed in and figured out and in real time. And then you're making money while you're at it. And in the meantime, you are honing your process and you're figuring out, how does this work the best? How could I make it simpler? And you're doing it in real time with people that are helping you to make it simpler and make it more efficient along the way. And you're getting paid to do that. So my suggestion is to work with one-on-ones first for that reason. You don't have to. You don't have to take my advice on this. I didn't take my own advice on it for the reason I already told you. And many of my clients also just go straight to group and it's fine. However, what you end up doing is changing your process a lot because all of the iterating that you would do with your one-on-ones in the beginning while you're figuring out your processes and you're figuring out your messaging and you're figuring out the exact clients you want to work with and who it works best for, all of the trial and error that you'd be doing one-on-one in the beginning, you're now doing with a group and you're changing and you're changing and you're changing. And it's just it's like steering a ship. Like it's harder to steer the ship than the little boat or whatever, however that would make sense to say. So for that reason, I would suggest doing one-on-ones. For the second reason I would suggest is because, like I said, it is a more advanced skill set to fill a group, in my opinion, but I think that might not just be my opinion. I think that just might be true because you have to have a lot of demand built up for your group before you go launch it to get enough people in that are ready to start all at the same time. When you're launching a group program, you have a start date and an end date, and you need to get everybody to make a decision and get ready before the start of the group. And that is possible. I do that. Many businesses do that. Many of my students do that. However, it is a more advanced skill set to sell that way and to get everybody ready to go by the date that you need them to be ready to go for Whereas with one-on-ones, people can be trickling in and it's just much less pressure on the filling it and launching the group. So what I would suggest is working with one-on-ones, building up that demand, have a lot of people interested, have a lot of sales conversations, make a lot of offers to people, and know that by the time you're going to launch that group, that you have a wait list of people, or you have a group of people that are already chomping at the bit to work with you that are going to want to jump into the group. That's my suggestion. With that being said, rules are meant to be broken. Like I said, I'm a good example of it. And there are plenty of people in my programs also that go straight to group. So we can do it either way, but I think working with one-on-ones first is the easier way for a lot of reasons.